Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I'm Stip and this is going to be part 44 of my early campaign when playing as England. And for quite some time now I have been playing a pretty timid game, I suppose, just to sort of speed things along and to get myself closer to the late game. Now I am in the late game now. That was 1320 is when it started, I think. So it is currently the year 1344, and when we get to the year 1353, which is going to be 9 turns, we're going to have 100 turns left in this campaign. So 109 turns left. Yeah, roundabouts. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable now. The Poles have sort of been taken down by, well, the Italians, I suppose, have done a lot of the work. They're currently crusading in Kiev, and the Danes have really nibbled away at the edges as well. Maybe my agents played a part in destabilizing the Poles. Maybe not. They are currently undergoing another civil war. Suffice it to say, I feel like I'm not too threatened by them anymore. Now, they can just bounce back, possibly, but we will see. We can continue to monitor it for sure, but for now, I'm not too concerned about them. In fact, I would say the most stable enemy force is going to be the Spanish. They still have, some forces. It looks like 4 stacks here in Syria, which is not nothing. In fact, I remember ending the last episode just because I thought that they might attack me during this end turn phase, so that could still happen. And the Spanish have stabilized Iberia. They do not hold Aragon or Navarre, but they do hold the rest of it. In fact, are they still at war with Aragon, or did they peace out? No, they are still at war. Okay, so that's good. And actually, what about the Italians? Okay, so they are still at war with the Italians as well. Good. So I am still fighting these Spanish boats in the water. Ooh, can I beat 1 caravel with 4 barks and a command star? I think that I can. And then, are there going to be any other enemy boats in the water? I know that there's that Italian or Byzantine fleet. Yeah, I'm at war with the Byzantines now. And we can come up here. So this is actually very good for us because these boats by themselves are very difficult to track down because they're so fast, but they're going to be moving as slow as the slowest boat in the fleet, which is going to be these galleys with the speed of 2. So as long as I just bring stuff that's faster than that. So this cog has a speed of 2. And the caravel has a speed of 1, but then the barks and the carracks have a speed of 3. If I just remove the cog and the caravel, sure, that does take away some of my firepower, but still, 1 carrack and a bunch of barks, like 6 barks, with 2 command stars? Can that beat? Ooh, 3 command stars. Ooh. So they have 1 more boat and an additional command star, but I have a carrack. A carrack is very strong. 6 attack and 3 defense. Yeah, I don't know how that works out, but I'm going to find out. Yeah, let's attack the Byzantines, and if I end up regretting not, bringing these 2 ships along, then we'll see about that. I have other boats in the area, so yeah, we can always attack with those boats as well. I'm trying to remember, are naval battles in this game all or nothing? I don't think that they are. There are results where just some of the boats sink and not all of them sink. Or on the losing side, do all of them sink? Actually, I don't know. I feel like they do, don't they? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that could be kind of dicey. But we'll test it out. This is for science. We'll see how this goes. And also for this episode, something that I'm pretty curious about, and I've been wanting to implement for quite some time in this campaign, but I just really haven't had a chance to do it, which is reducing my garrisons and reducing my army numbers essentially altogether so that I can experiment with garrison play, like kind of defending these high tier fortifications that I have now. And just kind of using small garrisons like feudal foot knights and chivalric foot knights to sort of defend these fortifications. and eventually getting some handgunners as well. I am currently training arquebusiers for my field armies here in Scotland. I do have the Master Gunsmith finally built up, and yeah, so we'll be getting that +1 Valor for my gun units that are trained here. Now, I was going to get a Spearmaker for some, so I could build an armor, so I could get some armor upgrades, but you know what? I could just do a monastery for that +1 morale. And then the Spearmaker later on, perhaps, as an idea? Yeah, something like that. And then I'm working on the Master Gunsmith here in Ireland as well. This is 9 turns away from being finished, and then I can get handgunners here. I could get handgunners here too, but I can focus on getting handgunners in Ireland and arquebusiers in Scotland. And Billman is, yeah, I think I want to keep doing just the Billman. And I know in my Danish late game armies, I was using chivalric foot knights just because they're fantastic. They're just a very, very good polearm unit. But the Billmen are kind of the English thing, and I'm getting +2 Valor, one from the province, and then +1 Valor from the Master Spearmaker. So +2 Valor Billmen, and then obviously the I'm getting the Cathedral +3 morale boost as well. And I'm getting the +3 armor boost from the Armorers Guild. There's a lot of good stuff coming here for my Billman, and I would like to actually compare that. I would like to get into the wiki and compare my upgraded Billman to chivalric foot knights. I wonder how that stacks up. Yeah, that could be kind of fun to see how that works, but I will be using my Billman in my late game armies along with my pikes, who I'm working on. That's going to still be a while. It's going to be, let's see, 12 turns before this fortress is finished, and then I can build the top tier militia building. It's just insane that it takes a fortress to get pikes just because they're not that good, but yeah, anyway. So we're still working on getting pikes going. So the field armies, my late game field armies are still a little ways off. I'm getting good artillery here in Flanders. I'm getting my culverins now. And I can include those in my field armies if I want to, or not. It kind of depends on what I want to do. And then I think longbows as well, just because they are, again, the English unit. Having some longbows in the late game armies can be fun. So they are here getting that +1 Valor from the province, and then that additional +1 Valor from the Master Bowyer as well. And then the Reliquary with +2 morale. And let's see, +4 armor with the Master Armor. So don't want to bring these guys in the desert. That's for goddamn sure. Yeah, but they should be pretty good outside of the desert, or when we're just defending. I don't know even if they might be too heavy to bring on the attack. But, so I'm thinking this is going to be like a kind of a slow process, okay? I don't want to just like dismantle all of my armies all at once. That's going to be a bit too drastic. But what I can do is, so like, there's something that I want to experiment with, which is that, so I've kind of heard rumors, and I don't know exactly what the rumors are, but I feel like some of the gun towers might not work in this game. I don't know. I just remember reading thread titles in forums talking about like bugged gun towers. So I don't know. I haven't used them, so I don't know if they work or not. So this is for the Citadel here in Flanders, and for the Citadel, because I have the artillery building, whichever one it is, going to be the Master Foundry. Probably not this one, probably the one that came before this. Yeah, whatever foundry that building is. There's an in-between, right? There's a... I wonder if I can see. Is it this? Cannon Foundry. So I'm assuming the Cannon Foundry allowed me to get this demi-culverin tower that was attached to this citadel. So I have a Barbican and a demi-culverin tower. And then after that, I can just get a basic fortress like here in Aquitaine. But Aquitaine doesn't have an artillery building, so it's just a fortress. Which is, you know, still a very good defensive building, but there's no cannons attached to it. In fact, I would wonder what their defensive capabilities are going to be. Probably going to be arrow towers, and then they probably have a Barbican from the Citadel, and the catapult towers from the castle would be my guess, maybe. And then, if we come down here, I think is going to be an example. That's a Citadel, and demi-culverin, fortress, citadel and barbican, citadel and barbican. I thought I had a citadel. Am I doing this up here? So I can get, let's see, demi-culverin. Okay, that's already, I already have that here. Let's see here. Is there an example somewhere? Because the fortress can get 2 cannon upgrades. And I'm struggling right now finding an example that I can show you. Ah, yeah, here in Wessex, I can get a culverin. So these are going to be the culverin towers. And then after that, there's another option. And I think, does it tell me? Why am I having a hard time finding this? There's a thing where it tells you what the upgrade is. Right here, yeah, fortress and siege cannon towers. So the siege cannons can be had after the culverin towers, probably with the master foundry and maybe another building. I'm not quite sure, but so I would like to kind of test these out if I could and have like varying degrees of them. So like up here in Flanders, I can keep the citadel and the demi-culverin towers, then maybe having like different levels of them throughout. So like Aquitaine, maybe I can just keep the basic fortress as is. And then perhaps... Well, you know what? I could get the foundry buildings here in Aquitaine, because the foundry buildings can be combined with the port buildings to get better boats. But in Anjou and Ile de France, I don't need those port buildings, so I could just get like the fortress in one of them. And so maybe get the... Maybe Aquitaine will do the... like go up to the siege towers, like the top tier one. And maybe Anjou can do like fortress and... like just the basic fortress, and Ile de France can do like the fortress and the culverin towers. And just to sort of see if I can kind of test it out. I don't know, just kind of see what the different capabilities are, see if any of them are bugged, and to play around with the garrison sizes and get those units going. I don't, let's see, do I have... Yeah, I have plenty of feudal knights, so I can use them to dismount to be my garrison. And I'm thinking, so for the longest time... Not for the longest time, but when I was playing my Egypt campaign, I played around with this garrison size thing a little bit. And as you know me, I like to kind of build balanced army comps. But it took me a while to get my head around this, thanks to a longtime viewer, Elf, kind of talking to me about his garrison ideas. And he was basically just saying, like, you know, he kind of just mentioned like feudal foot knights and, you know, maybe some guns or some grenades if you're playing as a Orthodox faction or a Muslim faction. The Hashishin as well if you're playing as a Muslim faction. But, you know, he made it sound like, you know, going for balanced garrisons isn't really the point, right? Because a lot of your ranged firepower is coming from the fortification itself. So you just kind of need some really high valor elite units to hold these entranceways and to fight these battles in these narrow choke points. And that kind of opened up my thinking a little bit so that I can kind of imagine, okay, just do that. Just do these, you know, melee infantry forces like feudal foot knights and chivalric foot knights, maybe some, or billmen, maybe not billmen. But then having, like, it's nice to have one cav unit because I can, not all the units have to be inside of the fortification. I can't hide a cav unit, is my understanding, because I know the AI does this against me when I'm attacking fortifications. Is that I could hide a cav unit potentially in like a forest, and then that cav unit can destroy the artillery that the AI brings. And then if they can't get in, you know, they're going to have to hack their way through the gates, and that's going to be very, very dangerous for them. So that's going to be the idea, and I think that I can start... I probably don't want to start disbanding armies yet, because as I just mentioned, I do have a bit of building up to do in these provinces before I'm ready to go. Flanders, though, it would be really nice to get that, because if I'm just going to keep it here anyway, and if the Italians are going to keep sending crusades through Flanders, it would be really nice just to have a really small garrison and not having to, like, you know, refill this army every time they march through, because it's getting pretty annoying. And the French are probably going to invade soon anyway, you know, because their army's probably similar in size to my army here. So other than that project, which now that I look at things may not be happening in this episode, but maybe in a future episode once these fortifications are up to the standard that I want them to be at, and as well as, you know, the troops as well. You know, I do want to be able to have the troops that I want out. I guess I have the garrison troops that I need in the form of the feudal knights, and I'm training chivalric knights here in Brittany. So that's all good. But it's more so that when this happens, I'm going to be disbanding most of my armies and then going with just a handful of armies, for instance, to kind of like hang back in Brittany and Normandy so that they can react to any potential incursions on my frontier. Now, I wouldn't want to do that immediately. I would want to like kind of give it a turn or two to see if the enemy does attack me in whichever place. Now, I am allied to these people. In fact, wait, am I still allied to the Italians? I am not, just the Aragonese. So the Italians could attack. But I would not be surprised if the French took that opening and attacked right away. But then I would have these armies that could kind of like wait a turn or two, see if they attack, and then if not, then I can kind of go into the rescue. And that is the idea there. So yeah, maybe not in this episode, maybe further along once these buildings are set up. Something, a project or a couple projects that I have though for this episode is getting peace with the Byzantines, because although I am making 1100 per turn, making more would be better, and I'm going to have a princess on the job. 26-year-old Princess Matilda, come on, you can do it. Marry that man, or marry one of his sons or brothers, whatever it takes. Please get it done so that we can go back to trading with the Byzantines. That would be fantastic. We have 943,000 florins in the treasury, and that is not nearly enough. No, not at all. And then, let's see, the other project is get the new king, King Stephen I, get him married. That is the other project. And this is kind of why I like to keep as many Christian factions as alive as possible, because, yeah, we're kind of running out of princesses to marry. And the fact that I'm at war with one of the only Christian factions that we have left, which is the French. I mean, there is Christian factions left, but I think that the Aragonese have already said no to me. I'll try again, though. Yeah, we can keep trying with the Aragonese, and then the Novgorod princess, I see, yep, let's keep trying here. And then I saw a Polish princess. Now, we are not technically at war with the Poles, despite us having, you know, been undermining them for a very long time. And then I noticed that, yeah, we've been having, there's an enemy assassin, or maybe not even enemy, just someone else's assassin, has been picking off my guys in these territories up around the Baltic. So let's start to spread out again. I know I have plenty of agents. Yeah, I have plenty of agents. So let's start getting these guys back out into these regions. It is now time to see if the Byzantine fleet is able to defend itself from my own fleet in the English Channel. So the Danes are retreating from Smolensk, okay. And the Poles are going to be retreating from Poland. And we lost the battle. We sunk 0 of their boats. We lost 7. Holy shit. What a disaster. Holy shit, what a disaster. Wow. Okay, that's confusing. There was... Oh, so they must have attacked my other 2 boats. So that was... So I attacked them, and they lost 0 boats, and I lost all 7 of mine. And then they attacked my cog and my caravel, and we at least took 2 with us. So they are down to 6 boats. Alright, we sunk the Spanish boat here. That's good. Alright, and the Spanish are planning to attack the Italians, which maybe is going to be in Navarre, possibly? Okay, well, now what? Let's see, I have cogs and caravels here in the North Sea, and I have more cogs and caravels here in the Irish Sea, so... Let's see, what is going to be the answer? Yeah, blocking the English Channel. But that Byzantine Navy is not what I want. Okay, well, let's bring these cogs over. And let's combine them first. I don't want to, you know, bring them into the English Channel piecemeal and have them get picked off. I want them to be together in one fleet of 6 cogs before I send them in. So yeah, we're still building Carracks here, correct? No, these are cogs with the +1 valor in Wessex, got it. And Carracks from Normandy, okay. Okay, so we'll get back at them. We'll get our revenge, but yeah, that hurt. That hurt, and I guess that was a lesson. Aha! Here are the Germans. They have reappeared. They're here in Austria. Okay. I was just saying there's not enough Christian factions on the map, and here one arrives. Perfect. So, please, spawn some princesses. And Swiss as well. Come on, why aren't you guys... Are they spawning princesses and I just haven't seen them? Yeah, I guess make princesses, please. And yeah, interesting though. Very interesting. So it's just gonna be Austria. Cool. And yeah, the Aragonese do not want to let me marry their daughter. That sucks. And the Byzantines are not accepting my offer of a ceasefire. And they're also they are declining my marriage proposal as well, which hey, here we go, the Poles. Oh, sure, because they're in a hard time right now, that's why. Yeah, they're getting pummeled. So yes, now my king has been married to the Polish princess. And we got declined from the Novgorods. And yeah, +1 loyalty to Sir John Neville, sure. Wait, hold on, we're not at war with the Poles. No, I didn't mean war, I meant allies. And no, we are not. Perfect. So now we have a married king without being allied to the Poles. Perfect, that's all I wanted. Yeah, that is perfect. So we don't have to worry about finding princesses for now. Although, let's see here, Prince Henry, that's going to be you. So you're 19, and you're probably the brother. I should still keep asking. Yeah, just as an insurance. I should try to get Prince Henry married as well. Well, believe it or not, that Byzantine admiral that destroyed my 7 fleets, or 7 boats, he is now a 4-star admiral, but he's attached himself in the rest of the fleet, so now he's just here. It's just a dromon. Well, in the Irish Sea, I have 3 barks, 0 command stars. Do you think that they could beat a dromon? 1 dromon, 4 command stars? Probably not. Even though the dromon is the weakest boat? I mean, 4 command stars is pretty legit. Jesus Christ. I'm just going to send my cogs down to the Bay of Biscay. I'm going to try to get these barks out of here so they don't get attacked by these boats. And I'm going to try to get these barks out of here as well. Maybe we can link all of our barks up and then attack that 1 dromon at some point. Oh dang, I just realized that the Spanish are also undergoing a civil war. Oh man, so they lost both of these stacks here. So it's 2v2 here in Syria. They've lost Sinai. They're gonna end up keeping Egypt. Let's see here. They'll keep Tunisia. How bad is their king? Every influence? You wouldn't think that's that bad, Jesus. They have a crusade marker. I wonder who they're going to be targeting. They can't target me, so that's that. And, yeah, so they lost Portugal. The Italians took back Cordoba. And was that it? Is that all that it took to cause that civil war? That's so interesting. Yeah, that's a bizarre one. I'm not sure what exactly caused that. Was it just that? Yeah, the Italians are such a wild card faction in this campaign. They're up here in the steppe now. The crusade for Kiev to succeed, and now they're branching out into Moldavia and Volhynia. And I thought they were going to take one of these provinces, but no, I guess it's just these 3 for now. But they already have Serbia and Hungary as well. The Germans are back. The Italians are fighting for Bohemia. And yeah, look at the mini-map. The Poles are just split. Oh man, they have Croatia and then Wallachia and Carpathia. They're fighting for Crimea. Poles are going to lose Khazar. This is another civil war, I presume. Or maybe the same one. And then the Poles do have Georgia as well. But there's no fortification here. It's just, there ain't much there, Georgia. Nice. That's so nice. And the Novgorods, guys, are you going to do anything? Come on. What is there? Do they even have objectives? No, they don't. They're not like competing. Huh, yeah. They're not really competing with us. So I guess that's why they don't really do much in the early campaign. Interesting. I wonder if you play on Conquest. I wonder if they do more. Now I have another heir who has matured. I'm assuming this is going to be another younger brother of my current king, Prince Edward. And it looks like he's going to be a 1-star general, is what I'm seeing right there. Ooh, God's judgment on the world. Plague and death now hold dominion, and the dead are almost numberless. No town, no village, no household has been spared. The living suffer the torments of the damned. The stench from the plague pits carries the black death to all corners of the world, and prayer is the only salvation. Yeah, that's pretty damning. I don't know if that has any effect on campaign. It didn't mention anything about that, did it? Okay, so yes, we have a son on the way. Perfect. And this is from my current king, so that is wonderful. He is very young, so this man will be of age by the time my king dies. Maybe a little bit... This man might end up being a little bit too old, maybe, but if we can get him married, that's all that matters. And Prince Edward, Killer Instinct, +2 Valor, +1 Dread, and then Drinker, -1 Command. That is unfortunate. Yeah, too bad. How is he otherwise? 4 Loyalty is not great either. 3 Acumen is okay, 2 Dread's okay, 1 Command is meh. And Drinker is going to be making him lose some Acumen later on down the road as well. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Now I have 8 boats. And these are all cogs. Some of them at least should have +1 Valor, although that's not being displayed anywhere. I have a 1-star Admiral, and these guys have a speed of 2, so there's a chance that they can catch these guys. This is just a 2-star Admiral for this, because the 4-star Admiral's up here. So we should win this one. Let's get that Byzantine fleet, and then over here... Yeah, so that Dromon's going to be a lot harder for us to catch, but let's see here. I have 1-star Admiral, 7 Barks, and then I have these 3 Caravels, 1-star Command. Yeah, I should send them in separately. Well, should I? That's another good question, is that, so like a speed of 3 and a speed of 2... That's still lower than a speed of 4, right? So does the speed of 3 still have a better chance of catching them? Or is it just like, depending on them staying still no matter what? You know what I mean? Like, may as well, should I just keep my guys together and then if they stand and fight, they stand and fight, but if they run, we have to go catch them? Is that just how that works? Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so we did win the sea battle in the Bay of Biscay, and we lost 0 boats, we sunk 5 of theirs, so that ended up working out perfectly. That should have been all of their guys, and it looks like the Italians are dealing with a little bit of rebel action here in Malta. Nothing too serious. I'm the richest. Okay, that's interesting, because last I checked, I was losing 5,000 or 6,000 per turn due to naval conflicts, so that's worth checking out here. Plague, smallpox epidemic in Aquitaine. This causes the flesh of the victim's face to come away, leaving a leering skull whilst he or she is still alive. Income halved in Aquitaine. That sounds awful. Speaking of sounding awful, religious hatred. So in Spain, the local people have turned on the Jews and, aided by the lords and officials, have driven them from many provinces. there has been much bloodshed and looting of Jewish property under the guise of religiously inspired outrage and hatred. Sensibly, the Jews who weren't killed have fled. This is in 1347. Okay. Alright. That was already happening here, eh? Interesting. And for those of you who know something about the history of this time period, it seems like I have gotten a bit of a slew of historical generals, would be my guess here. And although I am listening to the British History podcast, I'm still in the Anglo-Saxon times, so I'm not caught up to this era of English history. So let's go through these. We have 2 4-star generals and then 1 5-star general. I'm assuming there's a 1-star Sir Richard Cromwell. Sounds like a person, but I don't know if that's a historical general. Let's go for the ones that most definitely are. So first we have Sir Robert Knollys. So, yep, good loyalty, piety, dread is 5, which seems like a very English thing. And in this game is to be really represented with the high dread commanders. And then 4 command stars, 4 acumen, all around pretty decent. And then for his vice, or his virtue actually, skilled attacker, +1 command when attacking. So if you know anything about him, let me know. And then Sir Jean de Grailly. So loyalty, not as high. 4 is okay. 3 piety, 3 dread, 5 command stars, 2 acumen, and then skilled attacker. So he's going to be 6 stars when he's attacking, which is very nice. And charitable, so +10 happiness. Okay, and then we have Sir John Hawkwood. Again, loyalty is not super great. I should probably get these guys married off if I could, actually. 3 piety, 3 dread, 4 command stars, 4 acumen, all around. All of these guys are pretty well rounded, aren't they? And then does he have any... Oh, he doesn't have any traits. Oh, okay. So I wonder if he's not... Well, he has to be historical. It's weird, though. If he would be historical, most of them have some traits. So that's a little weird. But I should try to get... Let's see. You have only 4 loyalty. Let's try to get you married. Let's see. Princess Marjorie. Yeah, you try to improve his loyalty, would you please? Oh, hey, it's Homeland's time. I wasn't even tracking that. Yeah, so we scored all of our points, I reckon. 16 points. Yeah, that should have been all of them. Yeah, that snuck right up on me. 1350. Yeah, that is the year. So yeah, we got all of our homelands. We got the wool monopoly as well. Counted in the year 1350. Yes. And then 1400 and then 1450. Okay, so 2 more counting periods for these 2 points. And we will see if anything is added to the homelands next turn. And then conquest, yeah, still just making 2 points for that. That's fine. And yeah, everyone else is behind us. The Poles have been ravaged. Spain's looking okay, but we're still making more than them. They're making 12, 16, and we're making 16, 18, 20. So we're still making a few more points in the Spanish, and we're well ahead of them as well. Yeah, so Spain is still the country that I might still just kind of invade later on with my late game armies, just to sort of show them off and see how it goes. Just because they're kind of the only ones left to fight. You know, unless I send my armies to attack the Byzantines, I guess I could get a fight here in Lesser Armenia. They have a lot of troops there. Well, that's an option. Aha, there come the French. I've been wondering when they were going to attack me. Because these factions that are too poor to train or build anything, they still do accumulate royal knights over time, so... Yeah, eventually. Alright, so it looks like the Danes are taking Chernigov. Good for them. And yeah, I haven't looked at my forces in a while, so I don't really know what I have. 7-star general, that's good. It looks like I just have... Don't tell me I just have a 1-man unit. I have a 1-man unit? Oh, how did that happen? Shit, okay. Well, at least I have a 7-star general, and yeah, 8 valor, which is great, but I don't want to get him into combat. That sucks. Let's see here. So, I mean, let's see. I have a lot of, I outnumber them by a lot, so there's that. That does help. And, yeah, outnumber them by a lot. They're going to be having 3 catapults in their starting army, so that's not good for them. They do have these late-era Royal Knights, so that's powerful, for sure. And then these high-era Royal Knights as well. How many Royal Knights is that? That's a lot. So they will be led by their 3-star king, which is good because he's going to be overruling these 4-star generals. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Royal Knights. That's a lot. And then 3 feudal men-at-arms, and then 1 chivalric sergeant. So a big old melee rush. Oh, some feudal sergeants as well. Yeah, big old melee rush. No archers, just these 3 catapults. And then in reinforcements, Hablars, spears, Royal Knights. They should have been in the initial army as well, I suppose. Yeah, a lot more Royal Knights and Hablars basically down here. And only 1 banged up unit of archers. Really? That's kind of it, eh? Yeah, mostly cav, so very fitting for the French. And I suppose, I mean, I haven't looked at my armies in a while, but I should be fine. I don't know. Jesus, how many Spielmen do I have? Looks like I don't have that many Spielmen here. How did that happen? Oh dear. Shit. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. A lot of longbowmen. Man, it's almost tempting just to kind of do an Agincourt, you know? Longbowmen versus the cav. That could be kind of fun. I wonder what I'm looking at the map here and I'm trying to see would I have a hill? Where am I? Ile de France? Ile de France. Yeah, I don't know what that terrain is really. It looks kind of hilly. Looks like I could have a hill, possibly. And yeah, they outmatch me cavalry-wise. Man, I might get stomped here. I don't have the billmen to counter this. I made a mistake. Yeah, I got sloppy. I got sloppy with my dudes. And I did not keep up. I think maybe, yeah, it wasn't the Italian Crusade that went to Ile de France. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why units are kind of depleted and whatnot, but still. Yeah, sloppy. Yeah, it's a lot of longbowmen though. And longbowmen do have that, it's not just a armor-piercing, you know, ranged weapon, but they also have axes for melee combat. And that could be pretty good. They have 4 Valor as well, thanks to their 7-star general and whatever traits he's giving. So yeah, the longbowmen could tear apart their cav potentially. Oh, it's tempting. I might just do that. Just for funsies, you know, just kind of do like just kind of this mostly, right? Maybe do 8 longbowmen and then just do whatever cav and yeah, I guess some militia sergeants, 1 unit of billmen, some feudal sergeants. Yeah, not much, you know, a couple of units of Royal Knights, just a high era Royal Knights, so not the late era. I have 1 feudal knight. So that's something. Nope, two feudal knights. Okay, that's something. Some chivalric men-at-arms. They can beat, you know, they can beat the feudal men-at-arms head to head. So there is that as well. Yeah, so I can bring some swords to counter their swords. And yeah, we'll see. But you know, even if I lose, it's fine. I have plenty of forces nearby that can stomp out the French. So let's fight this one. And of course they attack in the rain. Of course they would. Very smart of them, very wise. God, I knew it. I was just thinking too, unless they attack in the rain. And yeah, smart indeed. You know, if this was, you know, like real life, you know, the rain would maybe make the ground muddy. You know, I don't know. Gosh, I don't know if I can think of an instance in history where that was true, but I'm sure we can think of a time where the rain made the ground muddy and that made the cavalry slow down. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me out, but I'm sure there's a time like that where we can think of. Luckily, we have a forest, so this is going to be our new friend. Since the rain is just going to like make our archers not that effective anyway. Let's just hang out in the forest then. Yeah, let's just be wood elves and hang out here. We don't have a hill, which sucks. We're going to be fighting basically like uphill on our own. I don't know. We can kind of like, oh, this is kind of, yeah, it's kind of shitty, but fighting the forest is very, very bad for cav. So this is what we're going to have to do. And it's making me think, should I get rid of my own cav units or should I dismount them? Ooh. Or should I swap them out? Swapping them out is going to take time to get the right units in play, but I did decide to not bring the chivalric men-at-arms just because of the army count that I went for. But now I'm thinking I would rather have them than these cav units. Yes. Yes, so let's do that. Should I keep one cav unit just to chase down routing infantry? I guess I should. Alright, we are now kind of set up. Let's just try to begin the battle here. Okay, so they're going to be over there. So let's face up on this side with my feudal sergeants backed up on my 3 longbows. And then let's get my center over, which is going to be my billmen. And yeah, if we're going to face up on this side, it's going to be a little bit awkward. But that's okay. It's going to be shitty for them too. So let's go like here. And that's my center. And then, yeah, we're going to basically switch around our groupings here, but that's okay. We can go with you guys like this. Another spearman and some more longbows. And then my reserves. Gosh, this is kind of an awkward angle here. I think I want my reserves more closer to the middle so they can respond to different attacks. And then my general, just as one man bodyguard unit, or just as one man himself, and then he's going to be hanging out with these hoblars, which I'm going to send out to run down fleeing enemies if we do win the first engagement. They are now sending forward some of their Royal Knights. I don't know what these guys think they're doing. You guys can come over here. And let's get Billman coming over here. Like that. And get ready. And they're being followed up by the feudal men-at-arms. So I'm going to want my own chivalric men-at-arms to be a little bit closer to the front lines as well. You, and then... Where's my other chivalric men-at-arm? Here you are. Bring you guys up. And are they taking any casualties? Alright, so it did stop raining, so there is that. That's good news. And yeah, they're taking 0 casualties so far because we're in the woods, and yep, that sucks. It kind of makes me wish that I was outside of the forest now that it's not raining. But all in all, it's probably for the best. Yeah, our archers, they must be in a really bad position to shoot. Because yeah, they're like... Are any of you guys firing? Aren't you guys firing? Yeah, there's not a lot of arrows coming out of our archers. Which is unfortunate. Oh, we're gonna get into my longbowmen on this side. Let's get my feudal sergeants over. Quickly, quickly. And they want to charge into the flank of my feudal sergeants on this side. And then let's get longbowmen charging in and hacking these guys up with their axes. And let's throw some feudal sergeants over here to stop these guys. And then, ooh, billman. Ooh, okay. I don't want them to hit my billmen, but let's get militia sergeants up here actually and start running. Yeah, I don't like that fight, but as long as they're getting a forest debuff, I don't know, it's on the edge of the forest. I don't know if they're getting that debuff, but I do have militia sergeants coming on in that can start chopping those guys up. Ooh, feudal men-at-arms attacking my longbow. I don't like that. Let's see, where's my... I had another chivalric men. Here you are. Yeah, chivalric men-at-arms come up here and help fight against those dudes that are hitting my dudes. And I feel like sending in my longbow since they're not doing any casualties with their arrows. Yeah, run in here with your axes and start hacking dudes up. Yeah, looks like they've already routed my chivalric men-at-arms. That sucks. And then, yeah, longbowmen, just run up. Longbowmen, run up and start hacking down. Hacking these knights down. Get them. Go, go, go. Yeah, their arrows are doing nothing. Let's try to get my general closer so that he can help out with his combat boosts, buffs. And let's see here. Are we winning any of these fights here? Where's the king? King looks like he still has a pretty healthy group of royal knights. And let's get these longbowmen into a fight. Chivalric sergeants. I feel like longbowmen might do okay against chivalric sergeants, maybe? 11 royal knights winning, apparently. Interesting. Alright, so looks like we're breaking guys on this side. That's good. Yeah, we're breaking guys on this side. Alright, militia sergeants, get into that royal knight. There's just one left on that unit, so come on over here and hack him down. Yeah, don't overdo it, guys. Don't overdo it. Yeah, looks like we're starting to break through in certain areas here. So that's good. They did a lot of casualties. Ooh, they got into my rear. Ooh, royal knights getting into my rear. That's my.
The enemy king flees.
That's where my general is. Don't get my general. They're running past my general, so that's good. And yeah, let's get these guys here. And then yeah, you guys get back here. And you guys get back as well. And alright, the king looks like he's coming back for more, so let's try to regroup here. And maybe get some shots on him. Yeah, shoot here, shoot here. And if we have enough longbowmen, left, what we can do is just line up again outside of the forest and let's see. Ooh, they're taking a fight. I didn't want to do that. Let's see here. Do we have guys? Let's see. Let's bring these longbowmen out of the forest if they can help out with their bows. Yeah, you come up. You don't chase there. You get over here and maybe charge someone in the rear. And then militia sergeants, yeah, you guys just come up here and get ready to support. Yeah, you shoot at the royal knights. And then you come over. Spears aren't engaging yet. You shoot into those feudal men-at-arms. Yeah, bloody fight in the forest. Yeah, we're picking them off. The king is still alive. But we're picking off his bodyguard. Alright, chivalric men-at-arms, get up here. And then longbowman, get up here as well. General, move a little bit closer. And then... let's see here. Can I bring on some dudes? I don't know. Since I did shuffle my unit comp, there, we can run down these chivalric sergeants now that they're running away. Which is perfect. And then... let's see, the king is still here. Yeah, we can shoot him. Come on, shoot him, guys. Bring him down, bring him down. Ooh, no, not the catapults, no. Alright, there goes the enemy king.
And his body lies on the field.
Alright, we can have these hobblars run down these catapults as well. Let's just do that right now. Yikes, yikes. Oh, picking off my guys, man. Pinpoint accuracy on those catapults. Pinpoint freaking accuracy. Yeah, now they're running away. Alright, well, we'll see if they bring on any reinforcements. I'm going to get formed up outside of the forest just to give my longbowmen the best chance of getting some shots in if there is a next wave. Well, they are not running off the field right away. Oh, wait, I spoke too soon. I think I spoke too soon. I was just saying that they weren't, it looked like they weren't retreating right away, but nope, they are. They're done. The king is dead, and now we're just going to be running down whoever we can with our one unit of hobblars. Right now we're just focusing on the catapult crew. But we'll pick off these Suffolk sergeants if we want to, and yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do it. Battle has been won, and let's see, point of valor for chivalric men-at-arms, 18 kills, 46 loss. Valor on Billman, 106 kills, and then 35 men lost. 3 points of valor on the militia sergeants. Holy shit, yeah, 71 kills, 28 men lost. Yeah, they did very well. God damn. Longbowman, 52 kills, 30 lost. That's probably all in melee combat. And then Longbowman, 45 kills, 51 lost. Yeah, they fought very hard. And then Longbowman, 56 kills, 23 men lost. Yeah, that went okay. Yeah, Longbowmen hacking down dudes in the forest with their axes. That went okay. So ransom refused, which is no surprise because they're poor and they can't afford to get back any of these guys. Yeah, 4 nobles, including... That's not including the king. The king actually died in battle. Those are the guys just captured. And the French are happy. They're pretty thrilled, so good for them. Oh no, my chancellery has been destroyed here in Wessex. Oh, that's a shame. And yes, the King of France has been killed. His heir has taken over command of the French. All right. Oh, how about this? The Spanish king has sent an emissary, and he wants to end the war with us. Sure. I'm cool with that. What? The Danes declined my marriage proposal? No way. That's a first. I don't know about like ever in the history, but like, man, that very rarely happens. I can't believe it. Those assholes. My younger brother needs a wife. I was counting on that. The Aragonese, for some reason, despite being my allies, won't let me marry their family. Ooh, maybe the Spanish have a princess. Maybe. Sir Robert Knollys is now educated, +1 acumen. And Sir Roger Uhtred, most charitable. That's a new historical general, is it? We can check on it in a moment. And charismatic leader, Edward Before. +3 morale, that's pretty nice. Is there another one? I think those are the same ones that we had before. Okay. Now, looking at the new French king, he's 48 years old, and looking at their forces, I am not seeing any sons. And he's not married, so the French could go extinct very soon here. Huh, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that, but it's not looking good for them. And we have yet another civil war for the Spanish. No wonder why they wanted that alliance, or that ceasefire, should I say. Yeah, so they started this episode with forced tax here in Syria, and now they're just down to the 1. And they might lose it, because the Civil War stack might win. Wow, okay. So they might lose Syria. They've already lost Sinai. Let's see here. Are they going to lose... Oops, shit, nope. They'll probably keep Egypt. They'll keep that. And... Ooh, okay. This might be a close fight for Tunisia. They've lost Morocco. They've lost Grenada. And they've lost Castile. Damn, alright. Jesus, I don't even know what's happening. Okay, so they're not going to be blockading me anymore. That's nice. How much money am I making? It's 180? Okay, so I must be blockaded somewhere. Yeah, the fucking Byzantine. I've been hunting down this boat, this 4-star admiral, for a while now. And yeah, we can't catch him. So, I don't know if I should even... Is there any point? None of my boats are faster enough to catch them. So I may as well just put them all together and hopefully I can... Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, you just have to wait for the AI to, like, make a mistake and not move him for a turn? Is that how you catch Dromons? Because it happens. Sometimes you catch them. Like, this one, too, is doing the same thing. It's just dancing back and forth between these 3 sea regions. And yeah, eventually you catch them and you're like, how did that happen? Did the AI just like forget to move? Is that what happened? Is that how we caught them? It's weird. Holy smokes, we have Italians and Danes fighting rebels for Granada. I don't think either the Danes or the Italians brought enough men, but the fact that the Danes are throwing their hat into the mix is kind of fun. And the Aragonese are going for Castile. Again, they're not going to be able to beat those rebels, but still, pretty cool. Yeah, this is a neat campaign. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. I am now going to be ending this episode here, although it's tempting to keep playing. I just think that there is a chance, maybe, that the Italians might want to attack me at some point, and I'm going to have to organize my defenses again along this line, just because there are a lot of Italian forces here in Burgundy, and we have stopped being allies as of, I think it was the last episode when they broke their alliance with me when I attacked the Byzantines, I believe. So there's not a 0% chance that they, won't attack me here. So I should organize, my forces in Ile de France. I should make sure that this general, let me just do this right now. You are no longer going to be in a one-man unit. There you go. You have your own 40-man unit. Sweet, good for you. There, step one. But I still have to kind of, organize the forces in Ile de France. And how are we doing? So we're building the cannon foundry here, which is going to allow us to build the culverin towers. Yes. And as soon as those are done, let's see here. This is going to be, maybe a basic fortress for Anjou. Culverin towers for Ile de France. Siege cannon towers for Aquitaine. And then leave this as a citadel, the demi-culverin towers. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So that's fine. We're pretty close, I would say, before I will reduce my garrison in Ile de France, and then yeah, then if the Italians or the French want to attack, that's fine. We can fight a siege battle if they want to. That works as well. But part of the reason why I like the idea of having kind of a thinner like frontier garrison is just because because a lot of times you see this, right, where the AI will stack up on your fronts, because if you have a lot of forces, they will also want to match that. But then if you don't have that, then they might go elsewhere. Now, that's not guaranteed. They could, of course, attack because they think you're weak, but I like the idea of the AI kind of saying, hey, I don't need 5 stacks here in Burgundy. Let's go elsewhere with this. So that's going to be the idea there. Yeah. All right. So that's going to be it for this one. Before I go, I just wanted to say that if you're enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It all helps immensely. So until next time, this has been Concept playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.